Hi there, Aquarius. Welcome to a special reading covering the rest of 2022. I'm calling it a manifestation reading. Manifestation meaning what is the number one thing that you would love to bring into your reality for the rest of this year. And these readings are not meant to be simply about new cars and things like that. It can be a relationship. I was going to say new cars and hot chicks. It can be a love relationship. It can be maybe for some people a child, or you want to have more of a spiritual consciousness. Could be non-material things sometimes. So let's go, and this is a different spread than I normally do. I will explain the positions after I lay out the cards. And it can, that's why I said a new way of thinking or doing things, because sometimes I get that as well. Oh, this is your card because it's ruled by Uranus, or it is connected to Uranus. Doing your own thing. So maybe you're not doing your own thing right now for some reason. Okay. Well, the card I got in terms of the manifestation is Seven of Wands. So I don't think you want to, you could manifest Seven of Wands, yes, as an attitude. Fire energy, I'm getting fire a lot. Maybe this sense of authenticity and empowerment is part of the theme of the collective. Oh, well, I'm recording this at the time of the full moon in Aries, so there's the fire for you. But this is a card of, somebody who is like, hey, this is standing your ground in some way. And you may be very, the person's face is very determined. Usually when I think of that, I think of somebody who is constantly being belittled by another person and made to feel less than. And if you're an adult, I will of course that could happen in personal relationships, but it can also happen in the workplace. And it happens in the workplace, I believe. If a boss is doing it, it's happening because that person is trying to keep you in line, is trying to keep you, what's that word, like, when we keep you on your toes. And so that kind of thing is something where if a person buys into it because they're like afraid, oh my God, what if I lost my job? Then they're going to be completely capable of being manipulated because that, it works, and that person will not hesitate to use it more and more. So we have to be very careful about cooperating with people who are trying to keep us in that defensive posture, if you will. How did you get this way? Five of Swords. This can be this sense of other people. I would say, like, if it's in the workplace, coworkers. Perhaps this is in the home. This can be in-laws or other, maybe, if it's, sometimes it can be like siblings. If you have, especially if you have a narcissistic parent or somebody, a parent you suspect is a narcissist, where they are, trying to pit their children against each other. They're like actively trying to do that. Then they will naturally, they might succeed. And that could be quite a feeling that you have to fight all these other people, in that sense, that you can't just have that harmony, The number 5 is a number of instability. And so, again, like in the workplace, this is often cultivated, infighting, because then, if all the coworkers were in harmony with one another, they would be a force against the boss, right? Or the management, whatever you want to call it. So that kind of infighting and backbiting, what we call gossiping and stuff like that, that can really poison the well in the workplace. So both of those cards are stressful. That's the one thing that I want as a takeaway from this, Aquarius. And actually the swords, you represent the swords, all the air signs. So this stressfulness, this stress that is you may be experiencing in the workplace that is unwanted, but is happening nonetheless. Why? Why is it happening? Who is the culprit? Who is trying to keep everybody, in this constant anxiety or negativity? Or in the family, why are they doing it? And I actually, I think that it might even be a family situation, because these are cards that can help you to think about ways that you can cultivate a change in how things are done. First of these cards is the Empress. The Empress is the Earth Mother. But if we look at her as just the mother figure, and this is, you see the Venus symbol? And somebody told me those were pomegranates. I thought they were cherries or something. But it's supposed to represent fertility, okay? So this is one of the, because then, okay, the other card was the Queen of Swords, okay? So what this can be is a dynamic, for instance, where you marry into a family, or if you're, an Aquarius, a hippie Aquarian who doesn't believe in marriage, if you have a baby daddy, I'm trying to sound so hip. It's a pretty pathetic attempt at sounding hip. But what else can I call it? If you're the father of your child, and I'm using gender here. I'm not picking on men. I love men, but this is something that does tend to happen when a woman has a child with a man who is connected to a mother who is holding on to him for whatever reason, whether, he was her main man for many years, or whether she just doesn't want him to separate from her regardless. She can, an interfering mother-in-law type of figure can wreak havoc on a relationship and also the family of that person. You may be, as an Aquarian, you may be quite different than these people, and they don't like that. So they may be talking behind your back. That could be that Five of Swords, and you're like, I'm putting my foot down. What the Empress is about is, if you have a child with this person, and both of these cards, the Queen represents the mother too, is that you start acting like the mother. You do not have to, if you have a mother-in-law who's a narcissist, you do not have to expose your child to that, because they may be doing the same thing to the grandchildren that they were doing to your partner when he was a child. In other words, playing favorites and that kind of garbage. So you have to put your foot down. And Aquarians sometimes, are very liberal, meaning tolerant. I mean, I don't want to get into politics, because I'm not talking about politics, because I'm tolerance there is a different story. But I'm talking about liberal meaning, open-minded and trying to get along with different types of people. And you may be kind of divorced from your feelings to boot, so it's hard for you to really see how bad it's gotten. But now you have, and now you have to do something. The Queen of Swords is about separating your feelings from the logic of the situation, meaning that sometimes you have to let go of somebody in love, okay? And you cannot expect everyone to accept you. I guess I'm making that message specifically if your moon is in Libra or Pisces. Not everyone's going to accept you. You got to face that, and you can't just keep trying to make it work, because that's what they want. They're trying to get you to beg them for acceptance, and you have to, you don't want to be mean and say mean things, but you can be detached from the situation. Also, the Queen of Swords, this could be a boss, especially if it's a female boss, and no matter what you do, she's always critical. Don't fall for that game. Don't try to please somebody. That's what I'm saying. The Seven of Wands is like standing your ground when other people are not accepting of you and not playing that game. What's coming in, or what you might decide to do, is the Eight of Pentacles. First of all, even if you plan to leave your job, you're not going to mail it in. You're going to do the best job you can, because these types of people, they actually, I think they would love, they're energy vampires. They would love nothing more than for you to do a shoddy job, so that they would have even more excuses to criticize you and to act like you're no good. By you seeing through that, you are the victor, and you kind of call their bluff in a sense. In terms of possible strategies for work, you may decide to actually get some new skills, because you're going, you realize that you're going to market yourself elsewhere. The outcome, this is one of my favorite cards, the Fool. Being open to the adventure of life, 0 point, creation, manifestation, or co-creating your reality at, this is even before the Magician. This is like maybe having a blank slate in terms of what you're going to be open to the direction the universe wants to take you, and not just be like, it has to be this, it has to be that. No. Whatever is meant to be for you, that's what you're going to embrace. And for Aquarius, that might actually be kind of difficult, because it's so funny, Aquarians are contrarians in terms of how they do things. And even like the idea of being, that Uranian energy, oh my God, Aquarius is so unpredictable and blah, blah, blah. No, I think a lot of Aquarians are quite predictable in a day-to-day sense, because you're a fixed sign, so you may have inner planets in Aquarius, and you're just very consistent in your behavior. But then something may, all of a sudden you could do something that surprises even yourself, and this might be that time for you. Okay, that's what I have for you. Oh, and also, because the eclipses are happening in fixed signs too, they will form squares to you. So that will definitely rub against you and make you want to change. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, I'm primarily an astrologer. I have my deep dive readings that are a special value, because you're buying a package, you're buying 2 readings, and it's for one lower price, much lower than if you bought two readings separately. 1 hour of natal chart interpretation and 1 hour of important transits for the next 12 months. And that's called my deep dive reading. I have other readings as well. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of 2022. Bye.